Now we will learn the remaining part of the brachial plexus, means the branches of the root, trunk and cord. First the root. How we'll remember? Like a Divya has a long hair. ठीक है, hair like a root. Okay, then root Divya means dorsal scapular nerve, and long means long thoracic nerve. Dorsal scapular nerve, how will remember the root value? Scapular as 5 and the alphabet C and D. C, D. Then C5 is the root value for the dorsal scapular nerve. It supplies the upper scapular part of muscles like rhomboideus major, minor and levator scapulae muscle. Okay. Then long thoracic nerve. Long, the root value is also long, that means C5, C6 and C7, and it supplies serratus anterior. One important note about the serratus anterior, that if it will damage, it will lead to winging of scapula at action. And if one extra thing I will tell you, that if damage in the trapezius, it will lead to winging at rest. Okay, remember how will remember root, dorsal scapular nerve, C5, 5 to 5 and C and D supply the scapular area, rhomboideus major, minor and levator scapula. Long hair, long thoracic nerve and also a long root value C5, C6 and C7, and it leads to the winging of, if damage leads to the winging of scapula at action, and if damage to the trapezius leads to the winging at rest. Then upper trunk. One more thing is that we studied 3 trunk: upper trunk, middle trunk and the lower trunk. Only upper trunk helps the branches, or it supply the different muscle like nerve to subclavius around the clavicle region, and it supplies subclavius, and suprascapular nerve supplies supra and infraspinatus. Root value is C5 and C6. Now most important thing, that is the cord. We study LMP, lateral cord, middle cord and posterior cord. Lateral cord formed by the upper and middle trunk, that is the C5, C6 and C7. Medial is formed by the only lower, that is the C8 and T1, and posterior is formed by the all the classes, that is the upper trunk, middle trunk and lower trunk, that is the C5 to T1. Some have specific root value, we will read further. And two nerve is common in both lateral and the median cord, that is the pectoral nerve and the median nerve. How will remember? Pectoral nerve, and the mnemonic for the lateral cord is MOL. For medial cord, mnemonic for is the M for U. Posterior is the star. How will remember? Lateral cord L, medial cord M, posterior cord S star. Okay, then 1L lateral pectoral nerve, remaining L lateral root of the median nerve, and M for the musculocutaneous nerve, MOL, lateral cord. Then the medial cord, M for U, 1 M for the median pectoral nerve, another M for the median root of the median nerve, remaining M median cutaneous nerve of arm and medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, U for the ulnar nerve, and the root value is C8 to T1. Important thing is the ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve is handed over by the median nerve. That's why the C7 is also root value of ulnar nerve. So CA, C7, C8 and the T1 is the root value of ulnar nerve. Important, remember it. Then the posterior cord, mnemonic is the star, SS. S for subscapular, upper and the lower subscapular, upper scapular part. So the root value is terminated at the C5 and the C6. T for the thoracodorsal nerve, also known as the latissimus dorsi nerve. And one more name for the long thoracic nerve is the nerve of Bell. The bell, it's important. And axillary nerve, A for the axillary nerve, R for the radial nerve. And the root value for the upper and lower subscapular C5, C6, thoracodorsal C6, C7, C8, and the axillary is also C5, C6, and the radial nerve is all the posterior cord C5 to T1. Now some important supply, like upper subscapular, it supply the subscapular muscle, lower subscapular also supply subscapular and teres major. How will remember? It's major, but it's supplied by the lower part. A minor is supplied by the axillary. So lower subscapular is supplied by the teres major. Thoracodorsal nerve is supplied by the latissimus dorsi. Its root value is very important, C6, C7, C8. Axillary nerve supply to deltoid and the teres minor, and radial nerve is the widely distributed. Thank you.